When the words art and mental health are put together, what does that conjure up in your mind? Do you automatically think of artists who have sort of had mental health issues? People like, say, Vincent van Gogh, or perhaps you think of somebody like Edvard Munch with his painting The Scream, where he was trying to convey the emotions of what that felt like, to let that out, that expression out. Or what about people like Alice Neal, who lived her life with ups and downs of mental health, and obviously found things incredibly difficult in and out of institutions. And there are many artists who have used art as a way, used their craft, used their practice as a way of actually expressing themselves and actually keeping them sane. I know of many people, contemporaries of mine, friends of mine, family members, who use art as a way of self-expression, of sort of healing, and of being able to actually let out what's going inside internally, letting that sort of fury of emotions, that soup of emotions out, and expressing it in some way which gives them a little bit of peace of mind and some clarity and some sort of guidance and an ability to go through their day on a more of an even keel. Art is used in therapy, art is used by art therapists, your art is used by people every day all over the world, whether they're drawing in sand, whether they're making clay pots, whether they're making baskets, whether they're painting, whether they're making stained glass windows, whatever it is. They could be knitting, crafting, making all manner of things. Art in the broadest sense of the word, what we make with our hands and our minds and our hearts and our souls, what we actually produce and what we create, is a fantastic source of well-being, and it's an incredible way to express yourself without actually having to put it into words. And sometimes words can be very difficult. We talk to children about finding their words, finding the right words for things. Whereas art in itself, you don't have to speak, you don't have to do anything. You just get the paper, or you simply get some colour and you pour it into a bowl of water, and then make paper with it and make things from that. You can do all manner of things creatively, and through doing that you can release, or perhaps just temper down the spring that's coiled up so tightly inside, that you can release those emotions. You can release yourself through that creativity, just through the process and the practice of making it. And it's not a question of being judged. It's not a question of making art or making things for exhibitions or even for anybody else to see. If you can get on in your own home, in your own little private space, and make something for you that expresses who you are and that enables you to free your mind and to just loosen things up a little bit and to get into a better sense of equilibrium with yourself, with your inner demons, or whatever it is that you're trying to express or get out, then I think that's a fantastic gift to be able to do. But like I said, it's not about being judged. It's not about, putting your stuff into an exhibition. It's about simply doing it for you and for your own well-being and mental health. I've spent the afternoon putting together a piece because I've been invited by a great friend of mine to help on a course that he's running, which I'll tell you more about. It's going to be later on in the autumn. And I'm delighted because I will be able to hopefully use my wisdom, if I can call it wisdom, my experience, my life experience, and also my teaching. When I first graduated from university, I taught for a few years and I loved teaching art. And I suppose in a way doing this is about teaching as well. It's about sharing knowledge. But the lovely thing about teaching, one of the things I remember so well is I taught some profoundly deaf students. They could not hear anything at all. Most of them had been profoundly deaf from birth. And I can remember just, they had huge expectations about what I expected them to do. But I can remember I just asked them to draw the vibrations that they felt. I wanted them to close their eyes and just feel the vibrations from either from the noises that were happening, the vibrations that were happening outside of the studio, or what was happening within the studio, and just to write the sense of the vibrations and the feelings and the tremors that they got through their body. And it was just fascinating. It was almost like a sort of linear, it was like a sort of internal landscape of sort of of these people, and they were all laughing, and we had so much fun because I think they were expecting me to tell them that they had to draw a cat, or they had to draw 3 apples that were on the table or something, and we just had so much fun breaking down those barriers. So I think with art, it can become a kind of therapy very, very, very easily. And you think about lockdown and the people that took to actually making stuff and crafting and crocheting and knitting and stitching and all manner of things, clay, making clay pieces and painting and decorating and all sorts of things that they'd never done before that were creative, sewing curtains, making clothes. I think there are so many things that you can do within the kind of sphere of art, within the practice of art and craft. I think it's incredibly important that we reach inside ourselves and pull out anything that's in there that needs to be aired and shared, or even not shared, but just shared with something creative, sort of transform the angst and the anger into an amazing abstract painting. Just get it out there. Just get yourself a book, a notebook, and start to write down things that you feel. Draw little, cartoons about how you feel. Make little scribbles. Do some doodles. Get it out there. There's this fantastic thing called morning pages, which I did write about actually in one of my Thought for the Weeks on my website. And if you subscribe to my website, ravenousbutterflies.com, you get my Thought for the Week. And one of the things I wrote about a couple of months ago was morning pages and how helpful they can be for people. You can write down your dreams, you write down your hopes, your fears, your thoughts. You can do little drawings, little anecdotes, little scribbles, little tiny things, big things. You can stick in tickets if you've been to the theatre, whatever it is, with all of your thoughts. You can do little kind of, critiques about things, and, write all of your deepest, darkest thoughts in there. Some bits of poetry, whatever it is that comes to mind. And they're just fascinating. Write down your dreams before you forget them. They are super fascinating. And they are a wealth of information if you do want to go on and do some painting or drawing and base some pieces of work around that, because sometimes we think the most extraordinary thoughts and we don't always share them, and then what do? They just get locked inside, and they get dug deep down into all the other stuff that we carry and all the other baggage that we carry around with us. So I think it's time to start getting those things out now that the weather's getting a little bit better, and you can get outside and get some fresh air. Just blow some air through all of those thoughts and get them out onto paper, or start something, enroll on a course, do something exciting, do something you've never done before. Go and do an adult education course, or start writing your book, or start writing your poems, or get those diaries out and go through them and make them into little kind of funny little anecdotes, or whatever it is you want to do. Start painting, start drawing, enroll on a pottery course. Get a friend to go with you, have some fun, make it a really exciting adventure. You never know what you're going to make. You never know what's going to come out of it. You might meet some fascinating people, make new friends, and perhaps, not be so lonely, or just focus on something which is completely different to your normal life. So I'm a massive advocate for that. So yes, definitely, if you're feeling a little bit troubled or a little bit down, get those creative juices flowing and get making some stuff and get creating some art, because I can guarantee you won't regret it, and you might even thank me for it in the long run. And in fact, I'd love to see what you make. I think what we're going to do is we're going to use our little group, the subscribers group, into a little sort of art showroom for people to share their creative endeavours and their writing. I think that's what we'll do, and we'll have a little sort of gallery of what people's work in there. I think that would be a lovely thing to do, to share it amongst us, and then I can use, with your permission, maybe some of the work that you post in the subscribers group, the Rabble. I can use that on my page, and and then millions of people can see your work, and you can, that gives you a huge amount of, that's great satisfaction when that happens. It makes you feel really good about yourself. So come on, get out there, let's start creating and let's start sharing that together. And I'd love to be part of your journey, and we can do that part together. And any advice and things, just ask me some questions. I'm here to help you, and I really want to get you going on that. And I'm sure you'll thank yourself for getting yourself on that journey. And who knows where you'll be in a year's time, or 2 or 3 or 10 years' time. You could be exhibiting with your local art group. You could be a published author. Who knows? Anyway, lots and lots of love. There's no time like the present. So off you go. Get on with it. I'm really excited to see what you make. Bye-bye.